All right, so we're gonna be doing some internal rotation for the hip. So that's gonna be the rear hip in the 90-90 setup. So in a perfect 90-90, both hips or legs are in this perfect 90, meaning the knee is off the hip, the ankle is off the knee, and that's the same for the back leg. So if I'm looking down, it's gonna look like two perfect 90s, right? We are working the back hip, so if you have trouble sitting here already, that's not a problem. We can always modify. So a couple ways. We can always bring the front heel in and see if that makes things a little more accessible. We can also bring the back heel in a little bit, can make things more accessible. That's my least favorite option right now. And we can also put something under the front hip just to kind of help us be a little more elevated, making this easier to sit in. So I'm gonna just show us from the perfect 90 though. So in this position, I'm gonna sit up nice and tall. If my hands need to be behind me for support, that's totally fine. And I'm gonna start rotating my belly button towards my back heel. And I'm just finding this rotation, trying to sink my cheek down to the mat. And I'm just sitting in the deepest position that I can. And so from here, we just sit and we start to breathe. So we're gonna go nice long inhale, but really look for that long exhale. So that way we start getting comfortable here, just kind of feeling the tissues that we feel stretched, where we're feeling open, maybe restricted. And we just wanna start sinking and getting comfortable here before we do our pails and rails. So pails is gonna be the pushing or the contraction of the long tissue, the tissue that we're kind of stretching. So it can feel different for everyone, but it's just basically gonna be some of this deep hip capsular stuff. So you might feel some of it on the inner groin stuff. You also might feel some of it kind of coming around to that back of the glute. Totally fine. When we hit our rails or the opposite side of the hip, you're probably gonna feel some of this stuff turn on. It might be a little crampy, but that's the stuff we're targeting. So two sides of the hip. So let's take two more breaths. Again, we're just sinking deeper, and from here, we're just looking to get deeper with every breath and every contraction. So we're gonna go for one more, and just if you kind of notice you started slacking in the spine, just go ahead and take that slack out, nice long spine. I'm in my deepest position right now. And on this exhale, I'm just gonna start sinking into the floor. I'm gonna start driving my ankle and my knee down into the ground at 10%. And I'm gonna start driving heavier at 20%. And if somebody was trying to lift my foot off the ground, they wouldn't be able to move me. And I'm gonna start driving harder and harder. You're gonna reach your max effort that you can hold for 10. 9, you're driving down. Keep steady and solid for 5. 4, the whole leg is pushing down into the ground. 2, without changing anything, the knee stays down. You're gonna try to lift the ankle, get it up to the ceiling as you try to rotate your belly button towards it, squeezing as hard as you can for 10. 9, keep trying to lift. You're trying to get this ankle up. 5, 4, keep trying to lift and rotate. 2, you're gonna slowly start relaxing. If it feels like you get deeper, take advantage of that. Go right into those long exhales. So again, nice big breath in, focus on a longer exhale than your inhale, and we're just getting comfortable again before we hit our second set. So again, if you notice something in your body or position change, just go ahead and take advantage of resetting before we hit our second set. And you should be in your deepest position right now. So again, if you came out, take the time to reset before we hit our second one. We're gonna hit this second set in just 1 second, so go ahead and make sure you're rotated all the way towards the back heel. Take that breath in, and on your exhale, we start driving that back leg down into the ground. 10%, 20, 30. If someone was coming around trying to lift my leg up off the ground, they couldn't, I would smash their hand down into the ground, holding down for 10, 9, 8, 7, stay steady, keep driving, 2, 1, you're gonna do the opposite. Knee stays down, you're trying to lift the ankle, pulling yourself deeper. Keep squeezing that tissue, turning all this stuff on. You got 5. 4, you're trying to lift the heel as you pull yourself down. 2, slowly relax. Hang out for those 4 breaths. So really nice, big, long exhale. Again, we're just trying to stay in our deepest position. We just, all that work to open it, and if we come right out immediately, we just kind of told our nervous system we don't really own this or control it, so it just makes it that much harder to get into it again. So let's hit those 2 more breaths, and then we'll come back out and hit some activation stuff, strengthening the range that we just opened up. Whew. And then very slowly and carefully, you're gonna migrate your chest forward. So in this position, I'm just gonna go into a place where I can lift my ankle or heel, just enough to be able to maybe slide my fingertips under. If you're getting a ton of lift, I want you to close that gap a little bit. So again, we're just looking for a small range here. Knee stays down, I'm gonna lift the ankle. We got 10 reps, and on the last one, we hold for 5 seconds. So if you need to lean forward, go ahead and do that now, but I just don't want you rocking as you lift. So we wanna make sure we're really targeting the hip, so go ahead and take that rock out of the upper body here. So from here, we lift the ankle, that's 1, go down. Up for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we freeze at the ceiling. Get it higher for 5, 4, 3, squeeze, 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 and slowly find the ground. Perfect. If you have that ball, you're gonna wanna grab that now, and that's gonna go behind the heel for our set of hovers. So from here, we got a 30-second hover. We're gonna squeeze the heel to the butt, knee stays planted. Lift, find the ceiling, hover over your object, and here we are for 30 seconds. So again, I'm just trying not to rock forward, just keeping this contraction of the hip, keeping my ankle as high as I can as I move over my object. And if you're in a place and you just can't lift from here, that's also okay. You're just trying to squeeze, pretending like you're lifting over an object. Good. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna end back in this 90 degree, and then we're gonna hit some rotation. So if I need to walk out to the side, I'm gonna do that now. So again, I just don't wanna lean out as I lift. So go ahead and counter that by leaning out to the side first. Ankle and knee lift together. I'm gonna lift, drive the knee up into my armpit, move the ankle up to the ceiling to find 90 and set it down. So that's gonna be a 30-second hover here, or rotation, excuse me. So let's lift, rotate, rotate, rotate. Ankle moves up to the ceiling. Start finding 90 as we set down and up. So you're finding your pace here. Again, you're just trying to stay long in the spine. I'm trying not to move anywhere else from my body. So my upper arm and body is really strong and solid. I'm driving my front leg down into the ground, and I'm just trying to get as much rotation in this hip as I can. Good, give me another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just set it down in that 90. Whew. And then we'll move on to some front leg stuff. All right, so now we're gonna hit some external rotation on the front hip here. So same thing, we wanna have this nice clean 90, so the knee is off the front hip and the ankle's off the knee, so if you're looking down at it, it should look like a pretty perfect 90. If for whatever reason this doesn't work for you right now, you can always, again, bring this front heel into the groin a little bit, making that more accessible. You can also play with scooting this back heel in. Again, that's gonna make things accessible. We also can lean out to the side, or again, we can put something under our butt. Any of these are gonna make this easier to sit in, whatever works for you. So from here in this nice clean 90, we're gonna do some pails and rails. That's gonna be to open or get deeper into our range. So we gotta find our end range first. So if you need the hands, totally feel free to use them for guide or support. We want to keep aiming the belly button over the mid shin and not let it float out over the knee. So that's the way we're going to try to come out of it. So shoot for mid shin or even the ankle. So up nice and tall, you can use your fingertips on the ground for support. We're going to reach as we lean the belly button over the mid shin, and you're just going to go down as far as you can without your back rounding, or again, your belly button floating out over your knee. So from here, you're just gonna start sinking into your deepest position. We're gonna go into some breath work. So you're just gonna take an inhale, nice long exhale. We're gonna hit 4 of those before we start doing our contractions and work. So in this angle, I'm really just kind of focusing on targeting a stretch on the back of this hip, somewhere in that butt cheek glute area. So let's go ahead and hit 2 more breaths. Again, if you feel like you can sink deeper as you sit here, definitely take advantage of it. We want to do our pails and rails at or near the end of our range here so we can open it. 1 more breath in, nice big exhale. And so the pails is going to be the pushing down, so the stuff we feel the stretch on. So we'll take a breath in, and without changing anything, I'm going to start driving my ankle and knee down into the ground at 10%. 20%. 30, I'm just driving harder and harder as I start reaching my max effort. I want to pretend like somebody's trying to lift my foot up off the ground with their hand and I'm smashing it down into the ground. We're holding that for 8, 7, 6, 5. I'm driving my front leg down into the ground. I'm holding that for 3, 2, without changing anything, keep the spine long. You're going to try to lift the ankle and shin up into your face as you pull your chest down. You're trying to pull yourself a little deeper here as you keep trying to lift the leg, holding that for 10. 9, I'm trying to lift my leg up into my chest, squeezing my chest down. I'm holding that for 5. 4, your spine is long. 2, you're going to slowly start relaxing. Again, if you feel like you got a little deeper, just take advantage of that. Go ahead and reset your spine here, so keeping it nice and long, even reaching out with your belly button and chest. You can arch your back a little bit here. And we're just hitting that breath work. So let's hit 3 more nice long exhales. Again, we're just calming down in this position. Maybe we got a little ramped up from the push and pull. We just want to calm down here. So we're just going to take the opportunity while we're here, making sure the belly button is still over the middle of the shin and not over our thigh. Let's take one more breath in, and on our exhale, we're going to start our push down, or our pails. So we're going to slowly start driving the front ankle and leg down into the ground at 10%. 20, 30, you're driving harder and harder as you get heavier in this front leg. You're going to start reaching your max effort that you can drive down for 10. 9, 8. If somebody tried to lift my foot up off the ground with their hand, I would smash their fingers into the ground. Keep holding that for 3. 2, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to try to lift the shin up into the ceiling, pulling your chest down. I want you squeezing this tissue together for 10. 9, you're trying to lift as you pull yourself deeper. Keep squeezing the ankle off the ground. 3, 2, slowly start relaxing. We're going to hang out for 4 breaths before we come out. If you get deeper into this range, let's just go ahead and take advantage of that, taking time to make sure our spine is long. Nice long exhales. If they're audible, that's no biggie. And just feeling the goodness. So again, you should have maybe increased some of the depth here in this 90-90, or just felt some of the back of this hip open up. Let's take one more breath, and then we're going to slowly come out and do some active work here, just strengthening this range of motion. All right, we'll slowly walk up. So from here, I'm not as deep as I just was. I'm still playing with that push-pull contraction, so either side of the hip. I'm going to move down into my deepest stretch, but I'm going to use my pull. So I'm going to try to lift the leg as I pull my chest down. So I'm still keeping my spine long, and I'm pulling even at the end. And when I can't go further, I'm going to say reverse. You're going to smash your leg through the ground. Keep pushing through the ground as you move your chest away from your front leg. So I'm always driving the leg down, even at the top. I'll say reverse or pull, and then we'll pull. So it's going to be 5 seconds down, 5 seconds pushing back up. So you should be under tension, either pushing or pulling the whole time. You shouldn't just be kind of willy-nilly letting gravity or your chest just kind of lead, but you're using that contraction of the hip to push and pull or move your torso. So nice clean 90. Again, we're going to lift the leg or pull as we pull our chest down for 5. 4, you're trying to lift the leg even at the bottom when you feel like you can't go further, and push. 2, 3, 4, even at the top, I'm still driving my leg down. We reverse, try to lift the leg, pulling my chest down. 3, 2, 1, drive as you smash the leg down, move your chest away. 3, 2, 1, keep moving here. We've got 15 more seconds, either pushing or pulling. If no hands is really aggressive, you can also use your hands down on the ground for support. Same thing though, spine is long. We're either pushing or pulling ourselves down. 3, 2, 1, let's push one last time. 5, 4, keep driving down. 2, 1, we can relax. All right. So we're gonna hit some hovers on the front leg here. So if you have a ball, let's go ahead and grab that. That's gonna be behind the front ankle. So from this position, if I can't lift my ankle, I'm gonna walk out to the side, keeping my arm locked out and a nice long body. Knee stays planted here. I'm gonna squeeze the ankle up, move over my object, tap down, then move back to that 90. So I don't want the whole leg lifting, knee stays planted. Let's go for 30 seconds here. So we're squeezing the ankle up, keep it glued to the ceiling as we move over our object. And if we can't even lift here, that's totally fine. You're still squeezing the same tissue, pretending like you're hovering for another 15 seconds. If this feels easy, you can get up taller. Good, keep moving for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna end in 90. So now we're gonna move this whole leg, add in just a little bit more spice. So you can use your ball for a hover, or if you have a block, you can definitely use that too. That's gonna depend on where you're at. So I'll show you a quick rep, and then we'll move through that 30-second hover. So in this position, I'm gonna start nice, perfect 90. I'm gonna prop myself up, or I could go no hands. That's gonna be really spicy there. So fingertips, lift the leg. I'm gonna move to hover over my object, tapping down, toes face the ceiling. Lift, move back over, and then we're gonna be there for 30 seconds. So what I'm avoiding is rocking as I move. So if you're like, holy hell, I can't do that, just go ahead and walk that back a little bit, and then we'll just start lifting from this angle. So let's find our object, find your starting point. Your upper body should not move here. Let's lift. We're gonna kick out, toes face the ceiling, tap down, and move here. So we're trying to smooth out our motion, trying to hover just over our object without rocking back too much or moving from the upper body. Good, keep squeezing. Make sure we get that rotation, toes to the ceiling. Woo. Nice and tall through the spine. Keep moving for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. All right, so from this position, we're just gonna do a 90-90 transfer to bear sit. So you can have a counterbalance for support if being in an upright position in bear is really hard. So if you're gonna have a weight, you can hold it out here or just hug onto it in the chest. Either way is fine. So in this position, I'm gonna start by driving my front leg into the ground. Keep that there. I'm gonna plant my back big toe, lift my heel. I'm gonna peel the knee open as far as I can, keeping my chest forward, my leg down. Let's go ahead and bring it back down for a second. We're gonna do that 2 more times. So peel that leg open, find your in range, come back down. We're gonna go 1 more, so find that in range. We're gonna freeze here. My front leg is still driving down. I'm gonna keep moving my knee away, keeping my knees as far away from one another as I can. My chest is upright. I'm gonna let this roll happen, and I'm gonna freeze and bear. So I'm up as tall as I can be. Toes are pointed away, knees are pointed away. I'm in as tall of a position as I can be, and I'm just squeezing into this end range for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna move to the other side. This leg starts to lead. I'm trying to leave my knee where it is. When I feel like I can't go further, I'm just gonna slowly let this knee come to the ground, find our perfect 90, and now we're set up for the goodness on the other side. Ooh!
That eye contact was so great.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, do me a huge favor and click on that like button below. And if you want to see more content like this, click on my face right here to subscribe so you don't miss out.